There are moments in life when we obey God, expecting things to get better, and instead, they get harder. That's exactly what happened in Exodus chapter 5. Moses and Aaron stepped forward in faith, trusting that God is about to deliver his people. The Israelites believe, they worship, and hope rises for the first time in generations. But instead of freedom, Pharaoh tightens the pressure. The workload increases, the suffering grows, and suddenly obedience feels like it made everything worse. It's a reminder that just because God has spoken doesn't mean the breakthrough comes immediately. And if we're honest, we've all felt this tension before. You pray, you trust, you step out in faith, and the situation doesn't improve. Maybe the door doesn't open. Maybe the pressure at work increases. Maybe the relationship gets more complicated. And in those moments, we start asking the same question the Israelites did. God, where are you? But the story of Exodus reminds us that God wasn't absent in their suffering. He was unfolding a bigger plan than they could see. What makes this story powerful is that God's promise didn't fail just because the process got hard. Pharaoh's resistance wasn't proof that God wasn't working. It was part of how God would ultimately show his power. And the same is true for us today. Sometimes the season of pressure is actually the state where God is preparing his deliverance. What feels like delay isn't abandonment. What feels like silence isn't absence. God is still at work, even when we can't see it yet. So if life feels heavier right now, don't let the difficulty convince you that God has forgotten you. Hold on to Jesus. He is faithful to every promise he has made. The same God who was working behind the scenes in Exodus is still working in your story today. And even when the path feels uncertain, we trust him, because what we see is temporary, but what he is doing will last forever.
If this message encouraged you, we invite you to watch the full sermon on this topic. The link is in the description.